Ladies and germs, breakfast with Friday, oatmeal with lots of blueberries, of course. Pardon me while I'm eating on this broadcast. My future's so bright, I gotta wear shades. Yeah, pardon me, I gotta eat this breakfast. Well, we are not in Cebu, but we do plan a trip to Cebu. I have contacted Brevis through another channel that he's live on this morning, and it was Jimbo 360. Accidentally caught him on that channel, making judgment on Brian Smith. Why do people make judgment on anybody else when their reputation is kind of, you know what I'm saying? But we want to find out those answers. I think we're going to schedule a meeting, undisclosed location. Initially, IT Park at Krispy Kreme, but that's not going to be the location. It'll be last minute, so no creepy crawlers come in. So my next trip to Cebu, the lovely Cebu, with the infamous, and he finds me infamous, the man who's so fascinated with me, my biggest fan, or is he? All the comments he makes about me all the time. Is he really a fan or a crazed fan? Will he strike me when he carry a knife in his right pocket like his buddy? Ooh, such a chance I'm taking. I mean, this old man, can he defend himself against 6'2" breadstick brevis? Sorry, breadstick. Breadstick. But, you are kind of built like that. But but look at me. I'm only 5'7", 173 pounds. Problem, right? I'm never your concern. Certainly not physically. Mentally, maybe. But, I could mentally fuck with you anytime I want. That's what's great about it. But this is not a meeting for anything violent. And because I'm an old man, I'm going to have a cheat sheet. I'm going to have a piece of paper with pertinent questions, and anything goes. You want to ask me if I have ED that you claim I have? You could ask that too. You can. But I will ask the pertinent questions. Now, I'm not sure of a date that I'm actually coming to Cebu. I have some business to attend to, so I can utilize this trip for business and pleasure. Okay. With that being said, what do you guys think? Would that be an epic meeting on my terms, though? No stalking. He ain't coming over my house or Fazio's house and all these views. Well, why does he do that? Well, I know he wants attention. Well, you know what? We're going to give him attention. Next time I'm out there, I will contact Mr. Brevis. Mr. Brevis? Yeah, yawn. Well, why don't you say goodbye then? If you're so bored already of my show, I guess you don't need to be here. Bye. That's how to handle things. No arguments with nobody. No back and forth bullshit. It's not worth it. But sometimes you gotta grab the bull by the horns. Brevis is my bull. Let's grab him by the horns. Okay. The Orkin. He does look like kind of the Orkin. It's not that you mentioned that. He's kind of like the Orkin man. Yeah. I don't know. Well, Orkin is chemicals, and he dealt with a lot of chemicals in California, so that wouldn't be out of the observation there. It really wouldn't. But this is peaceful. It'll be peaceful. And if he wants to strike me, he could, but he's going to be on camera. That's it. He could. Sure he could. I'll probably go down pretty fast. After all, I'm an old man, right? Can Frank do really this? Can Frank do this and do that? Could he do this? Could he do that? Could he do that? Could this? Huh? Can he? I don't know. It's been a long time, folks. It's been a long time. We're not going to do that. We're not going to need to go on all that shit. What's that jump? The jumpsuit. I know. I was surprised. I seen him on this guy, Jimbo 360 shows, a Filipino that has a show, has about 21,000 subscribers. He talks a lot of politics in the Philippines and all that stuff. Of course, Brevis was there. Where is he not there? If somebody's infamous or whatever, there's Brevis. There he is. Hey, Breve, we could have been good buddies. You didn't pull all that shit on me, man. Talk so much shit about me. Nah, it never would. Because, see, I don't drink. I don't hang around go-go bars and all that stuff. And we're going to go into that, too. Why does he hang around go-go bars? Because he's got two pregnant girlfriends. We're gonna ask I said the hard questions. Okay. Okay. Just wondering, since you are from New York City, what borough has the most Filipinos? I have not been in New York. I don't know how many years. 30. I don't know how long it's been. I have no idea. New York City has gone through so many changes. I could not make it even an educated guess at that. I really don't know. Hell, the town I was born in, Mount Vernon, New York, which is in Westchester County, is the League of All Nations now. You got every ethnic origin you could possibly think of there now. It used to be kind of a bedroom city of New York where famous people actually resided. There's a big list, actually. Um, yeah, there's actually a big list of people that came from Mount Vernon or general area there, including a very famous African American actor, Denzel. Remember Denzel? Yeah, Denzel was a classmate. I forgot if he was 1 year older than me or 1 year younger. Of course, I didn't know him well at the time. I knew of him, of his name, but he had no fame at the time. He would go into plays. He liked to be in plays. He used to go to the Boys and Girls Club over there all the time, which in later years he has supported that Boys Club. Well, it actually was a Boys Club, but then it turned into the Boys and Girls Club. Can't forget the women. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to go there. Well, not all the time, but I used to go there. I knew a girl that was the sister of the brother that Susie Q, I called her. Susie Q, Susie Q. But, you know, if this meeting goes through and I decide 100% on it, it's going to be winner take all, meaning the questions are going to be there. They need to be answered as harsh as the questions might be. Let's get to know the real Brevis and what you think of him. Let's get to know the real Frank, not what you think of me. Now, Brevis has been in opposition to me for a long time. It doesn't make any sense because how many times has he said, I like Frank. I'm a great fan of Frank. But then we see all these really negative comments about me. Why is it? Is it because he was rejected when I didn't want to go out to dinner with him? I didn't want to come by the house anymore because he came unannounced. Does he feel rejected from that? Probably so. He's not going to say that. But he's still human, isn't he? He's human. I guess he is. Some people think he's subhuman, getting his girl pregnant and hanging around in go-go bars, and the word is another girl pregnant. Any more out there? This is just an example of the prime questions that I will ask upon a meeting with Sir Brevis. Yeah, okay. Go-Go Bobo's sister, what is your favorite pizza? Jollibee in Queens, I guess they're spreading out all over the United States. Why? I don't know. What is so special about Jollibees except, for the local Filipino population? They want to feel like, they're home. So the Jollibee comes to their town. How about Pinto? Pintos. Maybe if somebody walked around the streets in the Filipino community, they'd make a fortune selling pintos. Or chicharron, they'd make a fortune, right? Mika, Frank, how did you get back so quick from Danao? Danao? When was I in Danao? Who said I was in Danao? Fly like an eagle through the sky, fly through the roads like the quick guy. I never. Who's talking about? What? Was I in Danao recently? Shh. Was I passing through? Shh. What was I doing there? Shh. And I'm home now? What did I do? Well, anyway, there's so much happening on YouTube right now. Feathers are flying, people are running, lies have been told and proven otherwise to be truthful. People, so much going on behind the scenes, folks. I wish I could share everything with you, but I just can't. Okay, absolutely, that wasn't a live video. Which video is this that you're referring to at Denal McDonald's? Which video is this? Did I just come back from somewhere? Or was I on my way? But wait a minute, the background, you recognize that to be my house, right? The sliding glass doors to the dining room? How am I here? Damn, Frank is quick. He's quick. Damn. And you and your woman were getting food. You're in a taxi. Oh, you remember that. A good memory. You got a good memory. I get around. Do 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 do. Well, no, I do find Brevis to be a very interesting character. Remember Bugs Bunny show? He's holding the Tasmanian devil's hand and says, "You monsters make such interesting people." Is Brevis a monster or not? Is it just an act to get attention? Or is that who he really is? Why is he so upset that I just didn't want his companionship? I didn't want to be taken out to dinner. And me and my girlfriend have just declined because of the things he said about me and the lies after he came over to visit. Treated him with respect. Sat in my living room. Then, next thing you know, he's on the Fairy show. I like Frank, but then he goes on. It's like all these nasty things. Ever since then, every live show that's ever been on, he's making comments about me. Not good ones. Just this morning on Jimbo 360's show, "How's your ED?" he said to me. Now, that's not nice for a man who says that he's my biggest fan. My biggest fan. Why would he say things like that? And why would he be interested in whether my pecker functions or not? It sounds a little gay to me. I'm sorry, but we don't go there with that kind of shit. Only she knows. And so far, she hasn't had a problem. If she don't have a problem, then I ain't have a problem. But it sounds good to say on YouTube, right? I know like Frank's a sexual predator. It sounds good on paper, right? But am I? Of course not. But it sounds good. Okay, let's see. More comments. Oh, Philippines and beyond. I knew you'd be here. Yeah. Mika, Frank, I've seen the Copycat channel have taken the derogatory video about your woman down, but surely a line must have to be crossed as this is shocking. Well, I had to take him down. I've seen it, yes. Yes, there's a line to be drawn, stuff like this. You know, why do you put Gilda in all this? Well, because when you can't think anything more to say about me, you got to attack the family. Isn't that Aloes basically his Bible, really, to do that? Okay, that's what they do. Yeah, that was pretty harsh, showing her as a bar girl with a sign over there. You know what that says to me? Not only mental illness, but it still says envy. They can make her a topic. There must be that bling. Remember, she's got that bling. Apparently, she's got that bling to be topic matter of anything. How is she in bed? How is she as a partner? I wish I was there. Can I witness this? Sick minds stick together. You know what I mean? It's horrible. Okay, make your woman family as being. No, of course it is. No, they're so used to this. They know what's going on. Even her kids know what's going on YouTube. They're not stupid. So they know there's a lot of adversity going on there. They're well aware of it. After all, people were trying to contact the children like Barry did. That's why Barry's in jail. So. Now, I cannot divulge any more information about Quasimodo's situation, but it's not good. Despite what Lady Gaga said in regards to his position of being able to leave the country without a sorrow, without any regret, with ease, that's not going to happen. You know the thing about the case? Yeah, it's real. Well, I mean, why would I lie about it? I mean, I've showed the paperwork, and it wasn't old paperwork. Okay, just to get that straight. You reap what you sow, my friends. It is what it is. Well, because my future's so bright, I gotta wear shades. That's why. Okay, it's my thing. Okay, it's my thing. Some people like to put pots on their head, bang a pot. I wear shades because my future looks so bright. Okay. Besides, I'm supposed to be hiding my baggy eyes. But that's not what I wear. I come on my show plenty of times without sunglasses. So that can't be it. Look, I eat oatmeal more for medicinal health reasons than I actually really like eating oatmeal. To be honest with you. Patrick Glenn says, is loyalty the most important trait in person, in your opinion? Honesty, I think, is more important than loyalty. Loyalty may come second or third. I think honesty is probably the best way to go. Because why even have a friend if they can't be honest with you? That's why I can't be friends with breavis, per se, because he supposedly came over here on good terms to meet me. He was my biggest fan, but then turned on me. Well, it's because I rejected him because I didn't like him coming over, but I still invited him into my home. He made derogatory comments about me on Philippines and Beyond shows on here right now. You're lucky I'm even allowing you on. And talked about my house or electric wasn't working or some bullshit like that. What? Okay. See, just like when you get dumped by a chick, right? Are you going to really say that she dumped you, or are you going to say, as an alpha male type of personality, are you going to say, no, man, I dumped her, man. It just wasn't right. She wasn't doing me good. It's the same thing with a man, with another man. Somebody rejects their friendship, they react the same way. Nothing different. Googling. I wasn't Googling at anybody. That was a stupid thing to say. Really, Googling, yeah, Googling. Why would I do that? I'm respectful. Even if I was a single man, I wouldn't be Googling her. And I'm not going to be rude enough. I'm not saying she's bad looking or anything. I'll just say that she's not my type. Simple as that. I can't say anything more than that. There's nothing really negative about that. She's simply is not my type if I was looking for a Filipino woman. That's all. Simple. Nothing bad to say. Just nothing much to say at all about it. Remember, he's the one that came out. He's the one that came out and said, I got to tell you, with Gilda present, you don't do respect Gilda. He said, my girlfriend thinks that Frank looks like an aging movie star. So wait a minute. If she said that, that's a compliment to me. But Brevis couldn't handle that. But he's the one that came out with it. He didn't have to say that at all. By the way, this is true. He did say that. If you ever heard the video, you've heard him say that. This is not something being made up. Nothing wrong with that statement. I've been told I look like all kinds of people in my lifetime. Even down to Danny Bonaducci. I don't know where that came in. Danny Bonaducci. I was way off bad on that. Philippines. Brevis was just pulling your chain, Frank. Philippines. His girlfriend was Googling. I don't know. I'm not going to make a lame statement and say that. I don't want to say that. That's stupid. Why would I say, And I don't want to know anyway. Keep it to herself. I'm very happy with my relationship with who I'm with now, and that's not going to change. And I know a lot of people would like to see that change, but that's unfortunately it's not going to happen. Remember, she's got that bling, right? It was on a video. She's got that bling, I guess so. Some women do, some women don't. Bling is good, right? Bling? Look it up. Okay. Well, whether she was or not, it's irrelevant. She has a right to look, and even I have a right to look, but I can guarantee you, and as I said, no offense to her, I wasn't. The only thing I noticed is that she was extremely short, and he's extremely tall. Not extremely, but he's tall. Kind of like he's up here, and she's like down to here. Very short. But that's not a crime. It's not a crime. Now, do I hate Brevis? No. I don't hate Brevis. I think he's just going down the wrong path in life. I don't know what his gig is. I know a little about his California deal. I mean, he's talked to me about it a little bit, and I still recall some pertinent things that stay in my mind, which makes me believe something else is going on there. But neither here nor there, it's not relevant really at the time. But I don't hate the guy. I just kind of wish he would kind of lay off a little bit, and I'd lay off him. So maybe we'll have a meeting sometime. Like I said, we'll iron out everything. If he wants to do one of these to me, he's got the opportunity to do it with all consequences, of course. And I won't exactly be sitting there either, I can tell you that. Okay. He might wind up in jail, or he might wind up laid out on the floor. Big surprise for a 69-year-old man. But you never know. Nobody really knows my talents. Nobody's ever seen me fight. I know. Frank, you're 69. What can you do? Well, let me tell you something. Growing up, I knew a lot of older dudes that were surprisingly agile, surprisingly strong, surprisingly talented in self-defense. Now, I'm not going to say that's me. That's not me. I mean, I'm talented, but well, I'm good looking. I'm an aging movie star, but we don't advocate. There's my tea with my turmeric and black pepper. Thank you, dear. What a gal. She has bling. She has that bling. Uh, I don't look. And you want to know the truth? I don't advocate violence in any form. I don't. I mean, I seriously don't. I mean, I don't want to see my blood, and I don't want to see somebody else's blood. To be honest with you. Cheers, breavis. Cheers, breavis. All I hope breavis does is that he becomes responsible, takes care of his girl, and she's pretty much almost due having a baby. I hope that he is a good father to the baby and the other girl's baby. So, it sounds like a very complicated situation, don't you think? Frank, will you get the copycat channel investigated? No comment. Flippy's Guru smells like another TGIF, but this time Licky. No, it won't work out that way. Wait, if we do this, it's not going to work out that way. I'll make sure of that. And there might be a surprise person in the background, like from a certain agency that might be there just in case, like the Brian situation happened with Barry. You remember that one? Yeah. Who knows what I'm capable of, man? See, you guys, you think you know me so well. If you knew my history, dude, let me tell you something. I'm going to show you something on my neck. It has nothing to do with my, well, it could be, actually. And guess where this came from? I know what skirmishes are. I have it was an unhealed wound on my neck. It came from a projectile from a distance, so it didn't really penetrate my neck. I'd be paralyzed. Let's just say that. I don't know how I could show you that. Right on my neck. It was a real bum job they did on me in the emergency room to sew it up and heal it. Never knew about that. Flying projectile, what could that be? No, I didn't. I grew up, spongy clean, and I don't never seen action. I don't know what that is. Believe what you want, man. It's okay. There's a lot of surprises about me, and everybody seems to think they know so much about me, but they know so little. I wasn't a sniveling little kid growing up in New York, let me tell you that. Yeah, Down These Mean Streets. You remember that novel and the movie, Down These Mean Streets? I walked the walk and I talked the talk. I talked the talk and I walked the walk. I did, yeah. Got my ass whooped a few times, that's for sure, but I did a little bit of ass whooping in my time, too. A little bit. You think I look bad just to see the other guy. I was a burly motherfucker growing up, man. I was like a linebacker. At some points, I was really skinny. Remember some photographs, long hair. But actually, I was pretty well put together. I was not an athlete, although I did take cross-country running. Can you believe that? Cross-country running. Frank, I did. Well, I could tell you an embarrassing story on that one sometime. It was embarrassing. But yeah, cross-country running. I actually was involved in cross-country running. Yeah, imagine that. Cross-country running. Whew. Let me tell you something. The family influence we had out there, we had no worries at all. My dad was this poor man, but he was still respected. See, the Italian American community, like anywhere else, they kind of measure you by your wealth, your success, and how to make judgment on you based on your accomplishments. Did you own a house? Did you own this, that? It was like that, even for my dad. But for the most part, he was respected because he was just a good guy. And no, my father never drank. Despite that picture they put up there with the wine glass, this was a special occasion. And I forgot what it was, but no, my father would have seltzer water. If he ever hit a bar at all, he didn't hang out at bars. But let me tell you something, he never drank. He's like me, you give him a beer, he'd be drunk on on a half a can of beer. He would not. He was not into that. Smoking was his bad deal, and that's not what he died from. Now he did not drink, and I learned a lot of my lessons too. Of all people, my brother. And I see what he went through. I could have went down that same road very easily. But I seen all the trouble he was getting in. I learned a lot from him, though. Did you ever get hung by off a building before? He did in Harlem off Simpson Street. Some of you might know where that is. Now it's like Yuppieville or something, I guess. That was more like Spanish Harlem, I think, on Simpson. Yeah, it's changed a lot. Most of Harlem has actually changed now. It's businesses, a lot of the old buildings came down. It looked like a European bomb raid is what Harlem looked like at one time, back in the heyday. You'd be on that train and you could see everything. You're passing somebody's window. The above ground tracks, the elevated rail system, be like a matter of 40 feet from somebody's window. Imagine listening to that all day, 40 feet from somebody's window. Amazing. Just amazing. What have we got here? Okay. Suppose like another TTW. You were, no, I wasn't in them. Did you ever return home to Italy to visit you? No, it's something I was actually wanted to do, is to visit Italy. Still not out of the question, but I'm getting pretty old. I mean, the likelihood of that happening, unlikely, really. But it's really too expensive out there now. You can't, Europe altogether is expensive. You can't, I don't think anybody can afford that unless you really got lots of money. Europe is expensive. A friend of mine went to Venice and he said it was really dirty and smelly. Rome was good, he said. I always wanted to see all the ruins out there, the Roman Empire. I'm into a little history. I mean, I like old architecture. I love it. It just, because there's so much life behind every old building you see, how many people were born, lived, died in these old structures, a couple of hundred years old, 300 years old, 600 years old, whatever it is. And people lived, died. They're visiting here. And it was his birthday the other day. How old are you now? What was your birthday? How old are you now?
7.
Huh?
7.
He's 7? Really?
The kid?
Yeah.
7.
He looks about 5. Youthful age. Anyway, there's a lot of eventful things in New York. I mean, if it was going to happen, it was going to happen in New York. That's where the greatest minds in the world get together, is New York. The greatest novelists, doctors, scientists, New York. They say if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere, pretty much. But the thing is, you got to stick to whatever it is, a profession is you want to do to make it. You can't go Nelly with something else. Go to college. Like a lot of people sheepskin on the wall, but it's not like I didn't get anything out of that. I got knowledge. Knowledge is power. Of course, I didn't go into a full-time profession into what I was studying. I've studied lots of things, actually. It wasn't just photography. I was into anthropology. Okay, I was into biology, human anatomy. That's where all this shit comes from. I always talk about. What part of Italy? Well, I know more about my father's background. And they said, I forgot the name of the town. I actually got it written down. But it's a town that's north of Milan. And Italians refer to it as High Italian. If you come from there, you're called High Italian. What I think that refers to is there's more rich people out in Milan and north of Milan. And my ancestry could possibly go back to Switzerland or anywhere on that border of Italy or Austria. Yeah, even Germany, like I lived in Vinta, but or Switzerland. It's all that. That's why I got light skin. I got light eyes, because the ancestry goes back to beyond Italy. It goes over the borders. I still haven't figured out which one of these countries were pertaining to the family tree, but I know that much. I know my grandfather worked in Africa, and he worked in many places. He was a bricklayer for the trains, train stations. He was a bricklayer, laid a little pavement down. He did all that. Oh, yeah. I never learned Italian, though. My father spoke it, but never taught us. I kind of regret that. There's so many dialects that Even he could find somebody to talk to. He may not understand him, I understand him. Because they have style. It's just like in the Philippines, there's different dialects out here, Oh God, no! I never Studio 54. It's hard to get in that place. Yeah, they're very rich parts. Here they are. His part of the family history comes from that part. They were up in the mountains. They were actually up very further. Was it north? It was north of Milan, and I actually have. I'm not going to take it out now. I have some stats on that, really. And I had to get this information from my uncle Tony, who's actually still alive now. He's 98, just approaching 98. My father's brother. So I had gotten some of that information off of him because he's sharp as a tack, even at 98. Sharp as a tack. You wouldn't know. Well, now he sounds different on the phone because he's got a lot of illnesses going on. He don't sound the same, but he's still very sharp up here, which is just amazing. Chicken Franks?
Yeah.
Let me have one bite of something there. That's terrible stuff, but it's Johnsonville. I can't refuse that. That's Johnson. Do you hear I said it's Johnsonville?
You want with bread?
No, I don't know bread. There we go. Is that the size of it, folks? The average penis is only 4.5 inches long. So anything more than that, you're doing good. Does that excite you? All right, that's my share of cholesterol for today. No eggs. I had my oatmeal with blueberry. Give me a break. Oh, I was there around the Son of Sam time. In fact, the Son of Sam only lived a matter of a few miles, or 4 miles from where I live. He lived in Yonkers, New York, which is right next to Mount Vernon. Yeah. People thought he was a normal guy, like, you'd never think. Also, the Green River Killer was in Washington State, too. And I worked with a gal at the Parks Department whose daughter was killed by the Green River Killer. Yeah, seriously. Damn, that's good. Go to SNR. And every now and then, you see, they're having that Johnsonville in there for a while. I don't know why. These are chicken franks with cheese. Probably just as unhealthy as the beef ones were. But, look at that. A tea bag falling all over me. Dribbling all over myself. But for taste, that's a real hot dog or sausage. I mean, you can't eat that shit out here. The red dye colored things covered with plastic. That's not hot dogs. That's so far from being a hot dog. You know what's a good hot dog? I used to eat the Hebrew Nationals. And of course, if you want, which is okay, but not great for taste. It's okay for taste. It's healthier, made with the best parts of beef. But if you wanted something that maybe wasn't as healthy, but did taste really good, that would be the Coney Island Franks. Coney. That would be the ones. They sold them as, what was the name of the package on there? It was Coney Island Franks. Now that was actually very tasty. That was really, that was really tasty. Oh God, those red sausages, man, that's all you see out here. Oh my God. Oh, Nathan's, thank you very much. Nathan's Franks are really, really good. You get the right sauerkraut. I never liked ketchup on my hot dogs, always just mustard, but not a lot. You know what I really get into these days? I get into horseradish. I put it even on my steak. I like horseradish. It really gives a nice zing, she's got zing. It gives a nice zing. I like that. You can use that with anything. You know what I suggest you do? You get the horseradish, but if you can preferably get the hot Chinese mustard. It's more preferable, but horseradish works well. So whether it's chicken or beef, whatever it is, you buy the roasted sesame seeds. Oh, so you make a little pile in your dish of the sesame seeds, right? And you dip your meat in the seeds, and it all sticks to it. Man, that is so good. We made a makeshift grill out here. We're going to buy a grill. Makeshift grill out here yesterday. We had some beef from SNL, which is not the best beef, but this tasted actually edible because it was, grilled outside. We just can't seem to make a good steak around here. We've been doing something awfully wrong. Barry's the king of steak, so he would teach me proper. Probably how to make a good waffle too. I'm sure he would. Cod is. I'm not into seafood, but I could eat cod. They have a chain of places in Seattle. Okay, and there's a seafood place called Ivar's. Ivar. Ivor. Okay, that's where I used to go to. I'd get fish and chips, and it was really good. And it was cod, real cod, and it wasn't like bits and pieces of different fish that It was cod. Whitefish is good. Whitefish is good. Cod's good. Things like that. But the cod, I could eat cod. But usually only if it's just going to be without breaded, it has to be like buttered up or something. Generally, I'll eat cod if it's breaded. And you got the fish and chips. And I used to go to these places, not all the time, but anytime I was near a place like that, I would certainly take advantage of it. Seattle did have that stuff. They got that cod in the package at SNR. Yeah, we buy that now and then. Not very often, but we buy that. It's actually expensive. It's actually kind of expensive, but it's worthwhile. One of my neighbors went up to Cebu to go to SNR, but couldn't go with him because he fills his whole truck with food. He don't fool around. The truth is, you want the truth, you don't get your money's worth at SNR. That's why we don't. And there's only certain things you can bring home. Frozen, we're very limited. We got a cooler. It's a fair size, but it's not going to be enough to what we take home. Unfortunately, other than buying fish or meats there, everything else that's frozen is processed. It's just what they say, processed foods and any sugars, for example, nitrates and sugar and all that shit. It's killer to your body, But let's face it, some of the best tasting foods are processed. And the reason they're processed modern day is because shelf life. Canned food, boxed food, everything has preservatives in it because of shelf life. They want to keep the product fresh as long as they can in the store and fresh in your pantry. And that's what that's all about. It's unfortunate that these preservatives are just not doing us very well. I just came up with an alarming figure, and they said that, what is it? It just applies to USA, I think, that 1 out of 2, did you hear what I said? Not 1 out of 20, not 1 out of 50, but 1 out of 2 people in the United States is obese. Now, I noticed that way back then when I had made some trips to Seattle. I went one to see my daughter. And everywhere I went, if I went into a clinic, the ground shook every time somebody walked in there. Big old Hawaiian gals and otherwise with thunder thighs and sores on their feet. And, well, that's another story, but the ground shook. And I would go in these supermarkets, and everybody around me had one thing in common. They were all overweight. I say all overweight, as a lot of YouTubers are on here. They're worried about my longevity. I think you better think about your own, is what I'm thinking, because I have predictions. Yes, I do, and I'm usually right, but we won't go into that. But remember when they say you are what you eat, and there's so much truth in there. You don't realize how much magnesium you need that you're not getting. You don't realize how much potassium you need that you're not getting. You don't realize as you age how much arteriosclerosis is happening in your body as you speak right now. So don't point your finger to anybody and say cruel things, because karma is a bitch, but your health is one too if you don't take care of it. Get rid of smoking. That would be my greatest thing. Don't drink, because even one drink affects your liver. It's such a horrible thing. One drink. I'm just going to say, I won't make this a health show. I'll say this again. Your liver only works like 30% of its function to metabolize and filter out different things in the food. But one drink of alcohol, your liver is working over 100%. its capacity to process that alcohol. But she didn't know that. Partially why I don't drink, but I just don't feel I need to live in that unreality. That's why I got off certain med. It's been a month now. I'm great. I substituted something that was fairly heavy duty because can be addictive, but at the dose I took it wasn't addictive. I took the lowest dose ever. That's why it was easy for me to just throw it away and not have any side effects at all. And taking something simple like if you need to go to bed, oh, there's a new drug out there. If you ever heard of it, don't take it. Don't take it. I thought maybe an alternative is called Romeltion. It goes under a different name. You become paralytic to this thing. You can't move at night. Go fast, but you don't get up out of your sleep. And some people wake up in the middle of the night violent, they're swinging their fists at something. They have nightmares. I got a prescription for that, at least the paperwork, but I'm not going to. It's probably really expensive, but it's an alternative. It's kind of a derivative in a sort of melatonin, but it's melatonin kind of on steroids. Yeah, it's some dangerous shit. I decided, man, no more of this crap. No. Benadryl, antihistamine, and magnesium. That's what I take at night. Magnesium helps relax your muscles, relax your body. I haven't twitched my neck in this whole show. You see that? I told you it happens down there because I've got deterioration between the discs. And there's like a little bit of nerve infringement down there. So I bet the whole broadcast, you didn't see me go, I didn't have to do that. Magnesium actually helps with that too. Work operation? I don't think so. But I'm going to get another MRI. I'm going to get an MRI on this and just find out for sure what's going on. Because I'm afraid of getting a really bad pinched nerve. And that particular disc, C3 to 7, that affects all your upper back spine. And that's why I sometimes feel like I have a pinched nerve in my back, a little lower in there. And sometimes I get back pain. Everything's connected. Foot bone's connected to the ankle bone's connected to the femur bone, whatever. Everything's connected in your body. Life is a connection in life. There's this invisible energy out there that when you break this energy, bad comes to you. They call it karma. Native Americans believe it or not. Like Native Americans, I like the way they think. Karma's a bitch, man. Sometimes you marry one. Of course, not in my case. She's got blame. Don't forget that. Okay, answers. Sorry, hold on. Got me back for a second. Anthony, I just walked in the door. What do you have to accomplish meeting breavis? Sorry if you covered that already. Okay, Anthony. Trazodone 100 milligram, I go to sleep. Yeah, I didn't get on Trazodone. Well, you know what happened? I never used to take anything to sleep many, many moons ago. Oh, I got to turn this fan on because I'm starting to actually sweat. Okay, that's going to be a lot better, I think. I used to have a prazolam, which is generic, for Xanax. I used to have that many, many moons ago that I would just keep on the side because I do suffer from general anxiety, but nothing bad. There were times that I've had episodes where my heart rate just went up and very scary. You think you have symptoms of a heart attack, but it turns out to be just an anxiety attack. It just happens. You could be having a great day, whistling Dixie, but it just happens. And I would keep that on the side just in case. But it wasn't really until I got in this relationship with Marlene, who's a bona fide Filipina living in Hawaii, born and raised. And after a while, when the relationship became kind of complicated, she got on my nerves. At that time, if I ever really needed to sleep, I would just take a little Benadryl, right? It worked for a little bit then. Then after a while, this is the woman that took the steering wheel of my car and wanted to crash, but I was no good at it, okay? That's when I found that I find it hard to sleep. And it went on from there. So since I've always carried always had the alprazolam around. And by the way, these things are life-saving. Like if you have diabetes, you take diabetes medicine for your heart. It's no different. People make a big thing about it, though. Oh, he was on fucking Xanax. So, you know how many people on here are on fucking medications on YouTube that they don't tell you? We have people with sleeping problems. They got to use a CPAP and all kinds of stuff. They're not going to tell you. I'm very open about this. But anyway, to move on with this, I started to take 1/4 milligram. They go like 1/4 milligram, 1/2 milligram, 1 milligram, 2 milligrams, and maybe up to 4. There's some people that take 4 times a day the highest dose of Xanax. And they take other anti-anxiety, antidepressant, whatever medication on top of that. Can you believe that? I could not see that. I mean, that would be insane. Excuse the pun. Insane in the membrane. That really would. And I just took a quarter of a milligram. See, what I'd do is I'd order the medicine. She'd give me half a milligram, and I'd break it in half to last longer. So I take a quarter of a milligram. And what it does is it kind of eases your mind. Some people have a busy mind. That's what. One of the reasons a lot of people can't sleep. That's why if you do yoga, meditation, that helped you. I never did that. Not really. Or visualization. You can't go to sleep when you have so much going in and out of your mind all the time. What alprazolam, Xanax, did calms your mind a little bit. It reduces your respiration too, so that you could eventually fall asleep. It only has a short half-life though, 4 to 6 hours at best. That's it. And that's what I did. No shame about it. I used it as a sleeping aid, not for anxiety. I only used that for panic attacks if I needed to. If I did, I would take like a whole milligram or a half a milligram, which only happened a few times in my history. Went to the ER thinking I might have a heart attack or some shit. I did EKG and all that. Wasn't having any heart attack or any sort. He was just having a goddamn anxiety. And anxiety hits you like a brick when you don't even know it. I could get an attack right here online, right now, live. I mean, that's how it happens, just like that. So it's not a funny thing, really, when you think about it. Some people live with, God, I'm sweaty. I gotta take a shot. Extreme anxiety. You gotta feel sorry for these people because I understand what that is. Not extreme, but I'm getting the lower end of the stick on this stuff. They got the high end of the stick. It's not a funny thing. It's really not. Oh, believe me, Xanax, alprazolam, it's your savior. If you had that, you would know. I have no embarrassment about talking about this at all. Everybody takes medicines for something. Well, not everybody has to take medicine, but the majority of people probably take a medicine for something, especially if you get more of an advanced stage. Am I right? Yeah. What do you mean I say it? Sure. Oh, Altivan, Cortivan is absolutely a wonderful drug used properly. Yeah, an anxiety attack is very real. Yes, it does. Trazodone 150 milligrams. I also got, which I don't use, and that's powerful too. I got clonazepam around here. Only by prescription. You can't get this anywhere. You can't get on the street. Now that's longer acting. Now, the difference between alprazolam and clonazepam is the alprazolam is short acting, but it's quick onset. It's a working system. But the clonazepam takes a little longer to kick in when you go to bed, but its half-life, or whatever you want to call it, is longer. It stays in your system longer. It's the next day. It could be up to 18 hours. It's not really recommended, any of that shit long term. There's a lot of theories about, it's bad for your liver, this and that. And mentally, it can cause memory problems. And believe me, I can attest to that. There's some things I'll never forget, and I think you know the things that'll be. Never forget. Ever. But that will mess with your memory. That's the one thing about it. And it'll mess with other shit too, not everybody. But if you need to take a specific type of medicine for a specific problem that you have, you want to go, penicillin would never value any drugs like this. And people suffered silently. They did. Back in those days, if you had any sort of what they would call mental illness, you were shunned by society. But the funny thing is now, if you and her, I'll bet you 2 or 3 out of 10 people that you meet is on some kind of a psychotropic drug. Okay, many of you on here may not admit it. One guy did. Van 620 is absolutely one. You got a quarter of a milligram. Use properly. Because I tell you what, man, anxiety, it's a bitch. Unless anybody's really had any problems with that. Oh, and a lot of people don't even understand. My daughter has anxiety. A lot of people didn't understand her what anxiety was. Your psychology is really off. Sure, doesn't do a lot of it is biological too. GABA uptake. It's not always a psychological thing. It can be on a metabolic level, which is not under your control. So don't make judgment on people who have to take this medicine. They make a lot of YouTube, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of the same people that are making fun of people who have anxiety and take medicines for such probably had it themselves. They're just not going to tell you. Cope with the inadequacies in their life. Right, guys? You know who you are. Yeah. It's very real. It's very real. Oh, God. House that we were renting out here. I remember in particular when just an onset came on. Was it early morning or something? What it was? My chest. I felt like a chemical thing going through my arm, a little bit of numbness, and all the signs, rapid heartbeat, and I was ready to, you know, call the ambulance, telling Gilder I loved her just in case I had a heart attack. Yeah, right? Wasn't I doing that? You remember that? Yeah. It's real. It's real. And it's not funny at all. Because you got more of an advanced age. If you feel something like that, do not assume that it's you have to have it checked out. So I did. The EKG was normal, and I'm very happy off as the anxiety. As I said, it can come from anywhere. You could be external or internal. It's expected times. I was at an airport. Hilo was going back to. I was going to on one trip, and I was in Hilo at the airport. Once you're in there, you're in there. You can't do shit again. And I remember, and I always carried, and I checked in my bag. Then I found out that that flight's not. Guess where my alprazolam was in my bag. Now, how does this work? Okay, just knowing that I didn't have that alprazolam with me, combined with I felt pretty trapped in that little airport waiting area. Go outside, the ones you wait for your next flight. Like, fuck, are you kidding me? That's going to mess up my other connections. I was pissed. So, anxiety came on. Oh my God, count. I said, look, man, can I get my bag? My medicine's in there. It's your friend. If you have an anxiety attack, a panic attack, that is your friend. Shake its hand, take it out for, romance it if you have a panic attack. And you'll know what I'm talking about if it has happened to you. Trust me on that. It's the best thing I can say. It's not a funny thing. Not even to make fun of anybody who happened to go through that shit. No, man. And so many people suffer anxiety and over. Don't ever be afraid to admit something like that. It's nothing to be embarrassed about whatsoever. Our society has become so complicated, people worrying about finances, but not always on an external level. It could happen on a metabolic level. So don't think that this is just something that's external, it could be internal. But when you have that, and there was another insert in the Seattle region, and I had to go take the van in the morning. So I remember that I wanted to take my quarter of a milligram. Holy shit, I couldn't find the bottle. And I looked in my carry bag, looked everywhere. Looked at my leather jacket, my black leather jacket, they weren't in the pockets. And I was afraid that that bottle, because I didn't want the kids to get hold of it. So I panicked a little bit. I said to my daughter, I said, I can't find my medicine. Okay. You know how fucking freaked out I was. She saw that modern day, she got psychological. What am I concerned with it? And I remember that even when I took, and I found the alprazolam, it was in the bag, but it was in a corner hidden where I wouldn't have sensed beneath that. It's just no, and it was your friend. If you had a panic attack, it's your best friend in the world. Okay. I took it, but yet it wasn't being effective on me. I had a hard time going to sleep. next thing you know, it's morning. I wasn't even ready. I didn't have time to take a shower, put everything together. The van was waiting for me outside. Couldn't even say goodbye to the kids, my grandkids. And she heard me up and she got up and I just say goodbye to her. That was it for long goodbyes to the kids and all that stuff, you know. But goes to show you, there's also a psychological dependence on something too, not physical. And that with me it was more of an as need basis type of thing. Then it become by choice. I had a hard time sleeping back in. I take 0.25, not 25 milligrams. Nobody goes. No, don't come that much. But my friend was there. It was very reassuring to me. And because of that, it was an insurance policy. I started, so no more Benadryl. Now I revert completely opposite. Now no more of that. And now I'm, yeah, change things around, huh? But a good, really good change. Yeah, why do you get per? Why do you get Patrick? Why do you get attack? Uh, that comes on unexpectedly. I mean, it's not be an event that's causing it. No, I've only had. I can count on my hands how many times I've actually had that. Comes. We having a great day. There could be internal stress going on. There could be unresolved things going on. Your brain recognizes this. As I said, you could be feeling great, wonderful day, feeling good. You know, your work or whatever, man. It hits, and it hits strong. It's serious shit. If you've never had that, you never understand it. But I like talking about it. I think it's a great thing to talk about it. People like to make fun if somebody's like, ask them problems, how many you want? That's the question I ask. Not make judgment because somebody's taking a drug. Okay, psycho meaning mind and so forth. And event. Taking medicines for everything. A lot of people on this show here, on this community, are taking high blood pressure medicine. They're taking diabetes medicine. Well, they got like a counter full of medicines about that wide. Tell you, because you might be labeled. Oh, well, be an advocate for any illness. Help others to understand what anxiety is. Like the gout. Maybe you want to talk about the gout, which is a horrible thing. Never had it. My brother has. Talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it. Maybe somebody will actually learn. We could learn from each other. Okay? Fair enough? Okay. So, to move on, yeah, I'd consider possibly, well, I doubt it. You know, I mean, you think probably, I'm not joking about it, but sometimes you've got to grab the bull by the horns. You got to let them know who you are. I don't mean all that shit. Throw it out the window. Be as real as you could possibly be. Be stern. Say, hey, this is what I think about you and why. Why are you such a fucking creep to me? You're a big fan of mine, but yet you're talking shit about me. It doesn't make any sense at all. Someone in that position is looking for, in any way they can get, in paying attention to both the same, it's still attention. Guess what's going on with this guy? He wants to be heard. A lot of the wrong people, but you know, going to bed definitely on YouTube. What do I smell? Something like throw on that rag. I know she's wipes the old girl. Okay, I'm going to end my show right here, but there's lots of things happening, folks. You know, with Lady Gaga, the big enabler, Quasimodo, and the scenes you wouldn't believe. Things are going very smoothly as far as I'm concerned. I'll be totally frank with you. No matter what happens, the main goal is to get him deported. Okay? But without the ability to come back. And I would be fine with that. I would let everything else go. I will cancel my case. I will let everything go. Quoting what comes first, the chicken or the egg in the situation. The case will supersede any procedure to get him out of the country. A timing. If he can get deported, I'm in jail for over 2 months. I'm real happy with that. He had to have some kind of punishment. That's just the way it is. After what he did a lot. I'd be happy, none. As long as he gets deported out of the country and can't come back to hurt any more people, I'd be ecstatically happy. Liddy. How you doing, Agante? Hope your day, your morning's going well. If you're here, I don't know where you are now. You're back to Australia. Australia, I tell you, a Joey give a kick. Try, sparring with a Joey. Okay. Anyway, where was I? Getting old. Okay. Really good audience today, by the way. Thank you. You've been here today. I understand why this has all been done, and I've had even Jay on a message. I'm not a, you know, you ratted. Well, as I explained to him on that messenger, it wasn't happening to you. He didn't call you a child predator, which could ruin your reputation in many ways and get you killed. He didn't threaten your life, he threatened mine. He continued, that's why he's sitting in a jail. There's nothing more or less to that. I decided that when you cross the line with me, I don't give a fuck for how much money you have. Wrong is wrong, right? It's wrong, it needs a remedy. And if you can't remedy it, because like I said, you could get into a confrontation with somebody and beat the shit out of them. Broken bones, cuts, hemorrhages. But generally, they heal. But you didn't get them up here. Now you understand? By legal matters, as JC was thinking, you're a snitch to rat on Barry. No, he wasn't. He deserved it. He didn't just fuck me over. I did a lot of people a favor out there. Think of the positive. No more Filipinos to hurt. No more people to borrow money and run away with. I did you all a favor. Just remember that. Black cat here. I can take out my black cat. My cat. But I'm not the bad guy. I think you goddamn. But if for some miraculous reason they paid off somebody, I won't talk about that. But only speculation. I'm sure of it. For your entertainment purposes. Let me tell you something. I could have taken this a lot of time, but it wasn't worth it. I didn't want to go to jail. And I, from Hawaii at the time, that TGIF thing and all that. I wasn't going to take that. I could have done a lot of things. I didn't because I'm smart in that respect. You don't want to jeopardize your Philippines. You don't want to do that. You've got to think up here, not with here. I don't advocate this. I do not advocate this at all. Not at all. It doesn't solve anything. Oh, you'll feel good while you do it, but it doesn't resolve anything at all. They're going to go right back to being what they were. I'm sorry, but that's the way it works. Tarek Tyler, yes, I wondered what that was about. And all of the comments in that 5-second long video. Does a woman feel the same? She wants contact her kids. That's when it really started. Yes, he did. About me, that I'm a child predator. You don't do that with me. No. You don't do that with anybody. He deserves more than he's getting. He deserves a lashing. Nail him to a fucking pole. Lash the shit out of him. That's what he deserves on top of everything else, as far as I'm concerned. You never, ever contact people's children like that. You don't call somebody a child predator. But to me, it's not acceptable. He is getting what he deserves. And people trying to enable him, a criminal, and they're very well aware of it, just because me, perhaps, that's absurd. About the Philippines and Filipinos. And you know he's hurt Filipinos, sometimes physically, and certainly for money, and foreigners, stores, bars, you name it, it's done. The horrible things he said about Filipinos. Let's say that Frank hates Filipinos. All these hateful things about Filipinos. Let me give you a little clue about something here. What you call hateful things about Filipinos. I might have made comments that were about this. If it's factual, it's acceptable. If it's fiction, it's an addiction. It's either fact or not. I've never said anything on here that was not backed up by fact. Keep that in mind. I've never said anything about anybody fact or what they put on the show on me and these scumbags. Okay? Maybe you understand me a little bit better now. But if you were wearing my shoes, somebody called you a child predator, you might have done a lot worse things to that person than I would. Yeah, you might have. If I was single, had no responsibilities out here, might have been. This is a woman attorney that Ricky, let's just call it. All this shit has been fitting together, guys. Big E coming out that wad of money all of a sudden out of the bank. And Lady Gaga also went to the bank at the same time before he went to see, which is right in the area. Huh? There's a lot to this, guys. The scenes don't know about. Talk about is the fact that Lady Gaga is denying that Barry received this summons. He received it. I know. I filed it. And I'm in touch with my lawyer. I know he received it. I showed a copy, which is not the same as it'll say you have to respond to this, blah, blah, blah. It'll be structurally different, but it was real. It was what my lawyer wrote, and it was what was received by Quasimodo. It's like all these names, Lady Gaga, Quasimodo. This is great. It's a community, folks. I love it. It's a community. We got these caricatures out here. They're all caricatures. Aren't they? They really are. Can you tell me if the answers are... I'm not, look, I don't want to, I know I am. I'm not going to give out any more information. Let things fall where they fall. Will he make his freedom into America anytime soon? Perhaps not. Is it? Right? Anything could happen, Little money can do things, you know what I'm saying? Despite that summon, blah, blah, very well. And it's in that direction right now. She is a tough cookie. She's a very stern Filipina. Oh, gosh. Okay, how many times hang on? I agree, Frank, that the P thing is step too far. Pedophile thing, it's nobody should say that. If I called Hagante a pedophile, he'd be over my house stomping on my head. I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't. I'd understand. After all insight, I might think twice about calling him that. I wouldn't want Hagante. He's a big man to come after me. I'm not stupid. Say that anyway, directly. Barry claims I said that on Facebook. I've never really. The only thing I think I referred to was a video that I had. She had friends because they all had. I guarantee it was not to play that. I made reference to that. And to me, that would be a child predator. Okay? That's consistent, okay? Because he was with an underage girl to begin with, and he was asking her, asking her if she had any other young friends they could party together. Finger of faith. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain. You don't do that, man. Okay, listen, folks, I really got to go. I haven't even showered up yet, and I got some shit to do today. Everything is going to come to a head sooner or later on. Oh, am I really going to meet Breavis? I might. I've talked about it. He was on a show this morning. I talked about it. But it's no holds barred. No bars. The whole bit. Just I don't get the questions. And we're writing on the paper. It's like I'm an old man. My memory's gone. Okay, paper. If I agree to do a meeting, if he agrees to do it, we'll probably just do that. Not at my house, though. I don't want him around here. I don't want him around the children here. I don't trust him in that respect. something a little off with this guy. It's my instinct, okay, my experience. His blank stare on his face. Everyone I know that's seen him, they said, yeah, this guy's psychologically something wrong with that face. He could be a psycho killer, man. He could be a serial killer for all I know. Hey, what the fuck do I know? I don't know him that, but I don't know. The way he came off to me, man, was damn. I'm exception of this guy. I don't hate the guy. He needs to get it. I see. I've been on YouTube long enough to know that somebody's seeking attention, how far they will go to get that attention, and they go far. No, I don't hate him. I don't like his character. I don't like the stalking he did. All these unwarranted comments he's made about me. I don't like. I'll be honest. I mean, I'll be really honest. I'm very open on here. I don't like the way he treats Filipinos. I just don't. He's got a pregnant girlfriend. He's hanging out in go-go bars. Supposedly, it's hearsay. I'll call it hearsay because I don't know this for 100%. That he impregnated yet another woman. So I'm going to be real up in front about this. I'm going to call that. I'm not going to spread a rumor because that's how things get carried away on here. I don't know that. It was said. Is it possible? His character could be. But I just kind of feel sorry for his lady. And breavis, if you're listening, I got nothing against you, gal, at all. Honest injured, I don't. I really don't. Honestly, I wish her well, or that her baby is healthy. But I think you, honestly, when you got a loving pregnant woman over in the business park area, okay? While you're out and you seem to have a drinking habit, you have an alcohol habit. We know you do. I know you do. Alcoholic, obviously. And you like, what did you say on that one show recently when you were on Jay's channel? What did you say? Hey guys, what's the best pussy, you said? And the answer was new pussy. Now that was a degrading statement to your girlfriend. That's why I don't see eye and eye with you. I'm nothing like you. Nothing like you at all, except that. And that, and your girlfriend was like right behind. What kind of disrespect is that? You know I'm right, breavis. You know I'm right. But then again, we don't know what his relationship is with her. Maybe they shouldn't give a shit. Philosophy, as long as you support me, do what the fuck you want to do. It's dangerous too, because to her, apparently, the statement, what the best pussy is, it's new pussy. That means he's getting tired of her. Huh? Well, you got choices to make, dude. If you're not happy with the woman for some reason, you want to be a free bird, but you're still going to have to support her. You have respect. Be a real man. That's a real man. Responsibility to her and the oncoming child. Although you like new pussy. To show when she's standing right behind you. Standing right, brother. See what I mean? See where I'm coming from here, folks? Come on, man. Come on, guys. I love you all. No, I don't really. I gotta go. I got money to take out of the bank. I'm so fucking broke. I'm so broke. I don't just buy a house. I don't, jewelry for my. Okay. I'm broke. You know me better than me. I'm broke. I got ED, you said. I got this and that. Wow. How do you know that stuff? Why were you in bed with me with my girlfriend? Can you prove that I have ED? For real. Okay. Have you been monitoring my performance? I could ask the same question. Correct your set to lift up your little blue pill. Frank. Kuya Frank. Tell Uncle Frank. Really want to know. And sometimes they find out.